All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and it's time for the Trials meta report. This is going to be one of the most exciting videos I've made in a while because Bungie has done some massive sandbox changes. They've created airborne effectiveness, which, if you don't know what that is, basically you need to spec into airborne effectiveness heavily if you want to be able to jump in the air and have your weapons be either accurate or have substantial aim assist and stuff like that. It's an entire complicated thing. I'm not going to go over airborne effectiveness too much in this video, or the changes to unflinching, like on the chest mods, and to stability on weapons and resilience and how that affects unflinching. I'm not going to go over that specifically in this video, but we are going to go over how much the meta has shifted. Especially, we also have Solar 3.0 and a bunch of new weapons for this season, so it's actually a really exciting Trials meta report, and this is a series that I've been doing for a very, very long time now, because it's fun to see what the meta is. And if you know what the meta is, then you know the weapons that you need to use if you want to go flawless inside Trials of Osiris. Quick disclaimer, I just got back from GCX. If I saw you there, shout out to you in the comments down below. That was a good time. If you don't know what GCX is, it was previously called GuardianCon. It was a really good time, though. Before we dive into this, I want to know your predictions of what you think are going to be one of the top 3 weapons from this weekend in Trials so far. This weekend's not finished by any means. You still have time to get in there and go flawless. Keep in mind the flawless pool is bugged if you're trying to get your 1 weekly flawless like a lot of you do. But let me know, comment down below, what do you think are one of the top 3 weapons. I'm going to pull up the top 10 right here, and then we're going to go over the top 20 weapons collectively. So first up, we're 3 days deep into Trials, and we have the Austringer hand cannon is in the top. Obviously, this hand cannon is so good. I told y'all this would be my main go-to hand cannon if I could craft the god roll. I have not gotten a god roll to drop, and I have not been able to craft the god roll yet because I only have 2 out of the 5 deep sight resonant versions of them. So unfortunately, I don't have the god roll yet. So for now, I'm using the DFA, which is still really, really fun. It has that time payload, which if you haven't used that before in PvP, that thing flinches people like crazy. The initial bullet flinches you, and then the time payload flinches you, so you're just like all over the place. You can't aim straight at all. So Austringer is up there largely due to popularity because it's a new weapon, but truly, if you have crafted the god roll of this thing, it's insane how good this weapon is. So make sure to get in there and get to grinding for that. That is like literally the best primary weapon to use right now in Trials. Secondly, we have the Beloved raising this far up, which is pretty crazy. Are we back in a sniper rifle meta? Are people sniping this much now? Has it returned? Is the Beloved really that good? I haven't used it yet. Let me know down in the comments below if you're sniping out there with the Beloved. Obviously, you know, getting that god roll is going to be really nice, being able to craft that bad boy. And so that is the number 2 most used weapon is a sniper. Are we back in a sniper rifle meta? That's the question I want to ask y'all. Number 3 is the Peace of Mind. We've got that 540 RPM pulse rifle. These things have been so good, and this thing was a beast last season. I made a Trials meta report every week, and we noticed that the Peace of Mind was regularly up there, if not first, because it's a real workhorse. And obviously crafting the god roll again, these weapons being able to be crafted into god rolls, we're seeing how this seriously and significantly affects the meta for Trials. If you can just forcibly get a god roll by investing more time and getting that god roll but through crafting, people are willing to do that, and then they want to take those god rolls into Trials. That's what we've learned recently, obviously, with these changes, and in the past as well. Now, the number 4 most used weapon, the Last Word, no surprises there. This thing was a beast on controller last season and many seasons prior, and then they just recently did a buff to this weapon for mouse and keyboard, and it's really, really good on mouse and keyboard. I still think it's a little stronger on controller, a little more, it's going to get some more consistent headshots, but it's really good on mouse and keyboard as well. So not surprised to see that number 4. And honestly, I think by the end of the season, we will see this be number 2 or number 1, at least a few weeks throughout this season. The number 5 most used weapon is the Palindrome, a really good weapon overall. Obviously, it's got insane base stats, and then the perks you can get on it are crazy. Usually, most people are going for quick draw rangefinder. Let me know if you're using a different roll out there. Number 6 goes to the Ace of Spades, a super solid hand cannon, and I think the Ace of Spades will be more popular with time because as people realize that airborne effectiveness is so important and you pretty much can't jump in the air unless you really spec heavily into that, people are just going to steer away from jumping into the air more and more and more, which equals using weapons that are especially lethal when grounded, and Ace of Spades will be one of the best, if not the best, for that type of gameplay, in my opinion. So I can see the Ace being significantly higher throughout the course of the season. Then we have the main ingredient. Now this thing that Xur's main ingredient got nerfed, both those perks, but fusions are just that good, and they're still up here. It's all the way up in there in the number 7 slot. And first thing I want to say is look at the diversity of weapons here for this. You know, we've got hand cannon, sniper, pulse. I mean, the Last Word is kind of like technically a hand cannon, but it operates kind of like a sidearm, a long range sidearm. And then we've got another hand cannon, so a bit heavy on the hand cannon side. A fusion, another pulse rifle, but a long range one, a slow fire one, and then another hand cannon, and then the Vex Mythoclast is in there. So before we get to that, though, we've got the No Time to Explain, a beast pulse rifle, something to use at long range. Number 9 goes to the Hawk Moon. A little surprised to see that in here, but apparently people are rocking the Hawk Moon this season. Hawk Moon is slapping, and all the way up to the number 9 spot. The Vex Mythoclast is a sleeper weapon that not a lot of people realize is really good. It has a really good time to kill, and it has a good ease of use. You know, it's a full auto firing weapon and is extremely lethal in PvP. A lot of people have been sleeping on it, but I know that the Vex is really good. And if you want to use something that's not a hand cannon, apparently, even though there's 4 of them in the top 10, the Vex is definitely a viable option inside the sandbox this season. Next, we're going to go over the top 10 kinetic and the top 10 energy weapons. So for the kinetic, we have, again, the Austringer, we have the Peace of Mind, the Last Word, the Ace of Spades, the No Time to Explain. We've covered these. The Hawk Moon. Number 7 comes in at the Crimson. Pretty good exotic there, and I know a lot of controller people really like that. The Rizwalker makes it to the number 8 spot. The Messenger in the number 9 spot. And the IS Luna all the way down there in the number 10. But again, number 10 in the top 10 for kinetic, so pretty good hand cannon still. For the energy side, we have the Beloved, as we talked about before, the Palindrome, the main ingredient, the Vex. And then coming in at number 5 is the Shire's Wrath, so people using the 600 RPM SMGs in PvP. Definitely surprising to see that. I mean, it's a good SMG, but surprising to see the SMGs that high up there. The Trespasser, which is obviously the reprised exotic from D1, making it all the way to number 6 in the energy slot. The Joe Tune is here. Oh, no, I'm scared. The Joe Tune is here, and we'll see if it becomes more popular throughout this season. And then we have the Le Monarch Bow, the 7th Seraph CQC Shotgun, and the Lawrence Driver there to round off the energy weapons. And that is your Trials meta report. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. What weapons have you used this weekend to go flawless? What exotics are you using? Are you utilizing airborne effectiveness, and are you speccing your build out for that and jumping in the air still as you may have been doing before in the past? Or are you staying grounded now and speccing into weapons with high stability and high resilience and going for the unflinching route on the ground? Or are you not doing any of that at all and just playing how you like and still making it flawless? Let me know down in the comments below. Definitely an interesting time for the meta and for the sandbox. And keep in mind that this is just the first week of Trials for the season, and I would be willing to bet that 3 or 4 weeks from now, all of this will be vastly different, especially as we learn and understand how the new changes work and what is the most effective, loadouts and stuff to, win as successfully in Trials of Osiris. So that's a wrap on this video. Again, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Later.